Good evening, and thanks for joining me. Over recent evenings, I've been looking at a list of qualities of what love is and is not. Today on the list, I come to love is not boastful or proud. So, does that mean I can't be proud of the things that I've done or who I am? Not necessarily. I have another little book here, a little flip book. This one is called The Theologast, Profound Wonderings on the Sacred, the Self and the Seemingly Certain, from the mind of Cameron M. Simmons, connoisseur of fine words. He asks the question, if I hate myself, underrate myself, undercut myself, and headbutt myself, should I still love my neighbour as myself? It is a great question. Having a realistic and positive view of who you are and what you do and the great things in your life is important. For if I cannot accept and love myself, how can I love and accept others? Nor can I easily respond to God's love if I can't accept how marvellously He has made me and the great, wonderful gifts He has for me. So, when does loving myself become pride and boastfulness that gets in the way of how I love others, whether I love them at all? It starts, I think, when I think so highly of myself that I stop appreciating other people and am no longer generous in my attitudes and actions toward them. Not long ago, I watched a Bollywood movie on SBS. It was a lot of fun. The singing, the dancing, a few comments on human behaviour and how people treat one another, and a moral or two thrown in. The story was narrated by the family dog, Pluto, who sadly watched the many things that his family did to hurt each other and, in the process, start tearing the family apart. He introduced the father of the family as a proud, self-made man who made sure everybody knew it every possible time that he could think of to make sure to tell them. Sadly, in his pride of himself and in his boastfulness, he neglected and found fault with his wife, but never in public. There they were, the perfectly married, happy couple. He treated his brother like a doormat, as if his brother's only role in life was to do his bidding. He failed to listen to his son and accept his son's strengths and interests and longings, which, by the way, didn't match his own expectations for his son's future. And in the process, he ignored the success of his daughter and her strengths and longings to be able to contribute to her father's business. He treated his friendships as if they were business opportunities and rode roughshod over his friends' feelings when their desires and interests didn't match his own. So in the process of becoming a self-made man, he had lost his capacity to love. He had become full of himself and his success. That's pride and boastfulness. And it had made him critical and impatient of others who didn't do things his way. He also lived by putting on a performance in public to impress and draw attention to himself in a way that often was at the expense of other people. It took a crisis in his life for him to realise that his lack of love and focus on himself, his pride and his boasting, were destroying relationships and people who really mattered in his life. And of course, in true Bollywood style, he changed his ways. And also in true Bollywood style, his character emphasised and really exaggerated his unloving behaviour, so that I couldn't miss the lessons that were there for me to learn. And if I didn't quite get them, Pluto was there to make sure I knew what the lessons were all about. Well, in my own relationships, and perhaps yours too, I might not behave quite like the father. My pride and boasting may be more subtle and less obvious, but they can be there nonetheless. Jesus warned his followers about that kind of pride and boastfulness, and he said, be especially careful when you're trying to be good, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theatre, but the God who made you won't be applauding. When you do something for someone else to draw attention to yourself, you go wrong. He also gave his followers a simple rule of thumb guide to behaviour. He said, ask yourself what you want people to do for you. Then grab the initiative and do it for them. Add up God's law and prophets, and this is what you get. It's a great word. It's thought-provoking, and it's certainly challenging. Love is not boastful, nor is it proud. Bye for now.